New Zealand's coastline is a boundary between land and one of the most dynamic marine environments on Earth. Beneath the surface, a world of astonishing complexity unfolds, an ecosystem sculpted by relentless forces and inhabited by some of the ocean's most formidable predators. Here the ocean is in perpetual motion, its surface battered by swells that have travelled for thousands of kilometres, their energy shaping the very character of these waters. Powerful, frigid currents surge from the Southern Ocean, weaving through deep canyons and over submerged plateaus, carrying with them a bounty of nutrients that fuel explosive blooms of life. Storm-driven waves hammer the volcanic cliffs, their force echoing through the water and stirring up the seabed, releasing hidden stores of sustenance for the creatures that dwell below. Upwellings churn the depths, lifting cold, nutrient-rich water to the sunlit shallows, where plankton thrive and form the foundation of a vast and intricate food web. Shoals of baitfish shimmer in the blue, their synchronized movements a living shield against the ever-present threat of predation. Among them, apex predators like great white sharks and orcas patrol with silent precision, their senses honed to detect the faintest signals of prey in the restless water. The sea's surface is often a mosaic of white caps and swirling foam, a testament to the raw energy that defines this realm. Below, turbulence sculpts the seafloor, creating labyrinths of rocky outcrops and kelp forests, havens for ambush predators and nurseries for the next generation. The submerged canyons and trenches that fringe New Zealand plunge to staggering depths, forming shadowy corridors where giant squid and deep-diving whales cross paths in the darkness. In these abyssal zones, bioluminescent hunters drift through the gloom, their bodies aglow with eerie light, luring prey into the waiting jaws of unseen predators. The ever-present chill, a legacy of Antarctic currents, shapes the physiology and behavior of every creature here, demanding resilience and adaptation. Only those with specialized adaptations, thick blubber, countercurrent heat exchangers, or antifreeze proteins, can endure these frigid, nutrient-rich waters. New Zealand fur seals, with their streamlined bodies and keen senses, navigate the surging tides, while broad-nosed seven-gill sharks prowl the kelp forests, masters of stealth and surprise. The seafloor is a tapestry of life, sponges, anemones and crustaceans clinging to rocks, while above schools of trevally and snapper dart through shifting light. Every moment is a contest of survival, a snapper's quick dash to snatch a fleeing shrimp, a stingray's sudden burst from the sand to evade a lurking shark. In the open ocean, dusky dolphins corral, bait balls with coordinated speed, while bronze whaler sharks slice through the chaos, seizing any opportunity for a meal. Each predator must read the currents, anticipate the movements of prey, and outmaneuver rivals in a world where hesitation means hunger. Orcas, the ocean's top strategists, hunt in pods, using complex tactics to isolate and overwhelm even the most elusive prey, from agile fish to massive rays. Sperm whales descend into the inky depths, their clicks echoing through the water as they search for giant squid in a silent, high-stakes pursuit. These apex predators reign supreme, their presence shaping the behavior and distribution of every animal in their domain. The labyrinthine caves and overhangs provide sanctuary for moray eels and octopuses who emerge under cover of darkness to hunt in the moonlit shallows. From the highest kelp fronds to the deepest trenches, every layer of this ocean is alive with drama, competition, and adaptation. The thunder of waves and the hiss of spray are the soundtrack to a world where survival is earned with every breath and every beat of a fin. To exist here is to be shaped by the ocean's moods, its violence, its bounty, its ever-changing face. Seals glide through kelp forests, dolphins leap through surf, and sharks patrol the drop-offs, each species perfectly attuned to its niche. Dolphins use teamwork and intelligence to outwit prey, while sharks rely on stealth and raw power, Their hunting styles are a reflection of evolutionary arms races played out over millennia. The wildness of these waters is not a barrier but a crucible, shaping creatures of remarkable endurance, agility, and cunning. In this untamed realm, life flourishes in abundance and diversity, each predator and prey a vital thread in the tapestry of New Zealand's wild-hearted ocean. New Zealand's extraordinary marine world is the direct result of a land shaped by relentless geological and oceanic forces. The islands are perched at the collision zone of the Australian and Pacific tectonic plates, a boundary marked by immense pressure and constant movement. Over millions of years, these plates have collided, subducted, and slid past one another, forcing the southern Alps skyward and sculpting a landscape defined by uplift, faulting, and volcanic activity. These same tectonic forces extend beneath the ocean, where they create a dynamic seafloor of ridges, trenches, and volcanic vents. Frequent earthquakes triggered by the grinding plates can instantly reshape the coastline, altering habitats both above and below the waterline. The result is a seabed marked by deep canyons, steep drop-offs, and complex geological formations, each providing unique ecological niches. Off the coast of Kaikōura, the continental shelf plunges abruptly into the Kaikōura Canyon, a submarine trench that descends over 1,000 meters. This canyon, stretching 60 kilometers, was carved by tectonic upheaval and is continually reshaped by seismic activity. The ongoing seismic shifts fracture the seabed, creating new habitats and releasing minerals that fuel ocean productivity. The canyon acts as a conduit, channeling cold, nutrient-rich waters from the deep to the surface, igniting a bloom of plankton and supporting a dense food web. These conditions create an ideal hunting ground for deep-diving predators such as sperm whales, which rely on the abundance of squid and fish found in these nutrient-rich depths. The interplay of geological upheaval and oceanic currents has fostered one of the world's most diverse marine ecosystems, teeming with life at every level. The boundary between land and sea is dynamic, with each earthquake and tectonic shift redrawing the coastline and influencing marine habitats. Major seismic events can thrust entire sections of seabed above water, exposing new land and transforming marine environments in moments. What was once a thriving underwater ecosystem can become terrestrial, forcing marine life to adapt or relocate. Over geological timescales, this cycle of uplift and submergence has continually reshaped the habitats available to marine species, driving adaptation and evolution. Volcanic activity, both on land and beneath the sea, releases heat and minerals, further enriching the waters and supporting unique biological communities. This ever-changing environment is a defining feature of New Zealand, where geological and oceanic processes are in perpetual motion. The land and sea here are in constant flux, as if the earth itself is breathing, each seismic event a pulse that reshapes the world. Marine predators and their prey have evolved to thrive in this unstable environment, adapting to shifting habitats and unpredictable changes. The geological drama beneath the waves powers the entire ecosystem, from the smallest plankton to the largest predators. Deep canyons provide hunting grounds for giants, while upwelling currents sustain the base of the food chain. The profound connection between New Zealand's violent geology and its vibrant marine life is the foundation of its unique biodiversity, making these waters a sanctuary for some of the world's most remarkable marine predators. Millions of years ago, New Zealand's surrounding seas teemed with ancient life, ruled by formidable marine reptiles. Among the most dominant were the long-necked plesiosaurs, apex predators perfectly adapted to ambush prey with their flexible necks and razor-sharp teeth. These air-breathing giants patrol the ancient seas, their powerful flippers propelling them through the water in search of fish and cephalopods. Imagine a predator stretching 10 meters, its serpentine neck darting through the water, jaws lined with interlocking teeth designed for gripping slippery prey. For millions of years, these marine reptiles reigned supreme, shaping the ancient marine ecosystem, but their dominance ended abruptly with a catastrophic extinction event. 65 million years ago, a colossal asteroid struck Earth, triggering a mass extinction that eradicated marine reptiles and countless other species. The aftermath left the oceans empty of their largest predators, creating a void at the top of the food web. With the extinction of these giants, the marine ecosystem was transformed, awaiting new rulers. The seas became a realm of opportunity for emerging species. This evolutionary bottleneck set the stage for the rise of modern marine predators. Mammals, once small and nocturnal, began to adapt to aquatic life, evolving new forms and behaviors. Early ancestors of whales and dolphins ventured into the water, their bodies gradually transforming for life at sea. Limbs became flippers, nostrils migrated to the top of the head, and bodies streamlined for efficient swimming. In New Zealand's evolving marine environment, these adaptations allowed the ancestors of modern cetaceans to exploit new ecological niches. Over millions of years, these mammals diversified. Some evolved into the baleen whales, like the southern right whale, which filter feed on plankton and krill. Others, such as the common dolphin and dusky dolphin, became agile social hunters, using speed and coordination to catch schooling fish. The sperm whale, a true giant, developed the ability to dive over 1,000 meters, preying on colossal squid in the deep ocean trenches off New Zealand's coast. Meanwhile, sharks, survivors of the extinction, continued to evolve. The great white shark, now a top predator in New Zealand waters, developed serrated teeth and powerful jaws for hunting seals and large fish. New Zealand's isolation and nutrient-rich currents fostered a unique array of marine predators, each filling a specific ecological role. The orca, or killer whale, emerged as the ocean's most versatile hunter, preying on everything from fish to rays and even other marine mammals, using intelligence and teamwork. When a pod of orcas hunts in perfect coordination, or a sperm whale descends into the abyss, they demonstrate evolutionary adaptations honed over millions of years. Today, these predators, dolphins, orcas, sperm whales, and great white sharks, are the apex hunters of New Zealand's seas, each with specialized adaptations: echolocation, deep diving, social hunting, and formidable weaponry. Their rise marked a new era, as they filled the ecological void left by the ancient reptiles, shaping the balance of marine life. The story of these predators is one of adaptation and survival, a testament to the relentless cycle of evolution in New Zealand's ever-changing oceans. Today, the wild seas of New Zealand are patrolled by these remarkable hunters, each a product of ancient cataclysms, evolutionary innovation, and the dynamic forces of the marine world. Along New Zealand's rugged coastline, the Kaikōura Canyon plunges abruptly into the deep, creating a unique marine environment that supports some of the ocean's most formidable predators. Here, sperm whales are present year-round, drawn by the canyon's extraordinary depths and abundant prey. Sperm whales are the largest toothed predators on Earth, with adult males reaching lengths of up to 20 meters and weighing over 50 tons. Their immense size is matched only by their remarkable adaptations for life in the deep ocean. As apex predators, sperm whales dominate the Kaikōura marine ecosystem, relying on the canyon's steep walls and nutrient-rich waters to support their hunting. The Kaikōura Canyon itself is a geological marvel, dropping to depths of over 1 kilometer just offshore, providing direct access to the deep sea. This proximity allows sperm whales to dive straight from the coast into their hunting grounds, where darkness and pressure define the environment. Sperm whales are deep-diving specialists, capable of descending to depths of up to 3,000 meters. They can hold their breath for up to 90 minutes, enduring the crushing pressures and frigid temperatures of the abyss. In these lightless depths, few large animals can survive, but sperm whales thrive, perfectly adapted to this extreme world. Their primary prey is the elusive giant squid, which also inhabits these deep, dark waters. Sperm whales hunt using echolocation, emitting powerful clicks that travel through the water and bounce off potential prey. Each click can reach volumes as loud as a jet engine, enabling the whale to detect and pinpoint prey even in total darkness. This sophisticated sonar system allows sperm whales to track and ambush their prey with remarkable accuracy, even in the pitch-black depths. The daily life of a sperm whale in Kaikōura is a cycle of deep dives and brief returns to the surface. After each long hunt, the whale surfaces for air, exhaling forcefully before preparing for another descent. These surface intervals are brief, typically lasting around 10 minutes, allowing the whale to recover before diving again. During these moments, the whale remains vigilant, conserving energy and preparing for the next hunt. When ready, the whale lifts its immense tail flukes high, signaling the start of another deep dive into the canyon's depths. This powerful movement propels the whale downward, vanishing into the blue to resume its hunt. The continued presence of these apex predators is a testament to the canyon's productivity and ecological health. Sperm whales sit at the very top of the food chain, their survival dependent on the abundance of life below them. The canyon's upwelling currents bring nutrients from the deep, supporting a rich web of life from plankton to squid. This intricate food chain begins with microscopic plankton, sustaining fish and squid, and ultimately the giant hunters themselves. The sperm whales of Kaikōura Canyon are living proof of the ocean's power and complexity, masters of the deep, perfectly adapted to one of the planet's most dramatic marine environments. On the southwest coast of New Zealand lies Fjordland, a landscape carved by ancient glaciers, where the land meets the sea in a dramatic collision of stone and water. Places like Milford Sound are breathtakingly beautiful, with sheer cliffs rising straight out of the dark water, casting long shadows that hint at the mysteries below. The environment here is as extreme as it is stunning, with relentless storms and a brooding atmosphere that shapes life beneath the surface. This is one of the wettest places on Earth, with rain falling almost every day, feeding the fjords with a constant deluge. The immense volume of fresh water pouring into the sea transforms the marine environment, creating a world unlike any other. As the rain runs off the land, it washes tannins from the forest floor, infusing the water with a dark tea-like stain. These tannins stain the water brown, creating a murky veil that filters the sunlight. The dark fresh water forms a distinct layer atop the denser salt water, forging a unique underwater world where light barely penetrates. This shadowy surface, several meters thick, acts like a colossal pair of sunglasses, plunging the depths into perpetual twilight. Below, the water is bathed in dim blue-grey light, a realm where only the most adaptable creatures survive. Here, the bizarre interplay of shadow and faint light creates an environment that mimics the deep sea, just meters from the surface. Deep-sea species, normally found in the abyssal plains, drift and hunt in these shallow, dark waters, their bodies adapted to the gloom. It's a place where the deep sea rises to meet the light, and ancient predators glide silently through the shadows. In these depths, the hunt is a silent ballet. The fierce, spiny dogfish, with its pale, ghostly eyes, stalks smaller fish and crustaceans, using electroreceptors to sense the faintest movement in the darkness. Nearby, the bioluminescent lanternfish flashes its light, luring plankton and confusing would-be predators, while the long, slender hagfish writhes through the silt, feeding on the remains of the fallen. The inhabitants of this shadowy world are strange and wonderful, the glassy-eyed rattail, the delicate sea pens swaying in the current, and the armored squat lobsters, all perfectly adapted to the perpetual dusk. Fjordland is famous for its black coral trees, their dark branches rising like ancient forests from the seabed, providing shelter for countless creatures. These are not plants, but colonies of tiny animals, each polyp extending delicate tentacles to snatch drifting prey from the water. In the deep ocean, black corals can live for centuries, their slow growth a testament to the patience of the deep. Here, ancient forests thrive in the filtered twilight, home to shrimp, brittle stars, and lurking predators. Sea cucumbers, ancient relatives of starfish, inch along the seabed, recycling detritus and providing food for prowling anemones and the sharp-jawed brotula fish. The rat tail, with its whip-like tail and luminous eyes, glides through the gloom, preying on worms and crustaceans, while always wary of larger hunters lurking in the shadows. Normally found below 4,000 meters, here they thrive at just 200, their bodies built for the cold, crushing dark, yet perfectly at home in this shallow twilight. Swarms of predatory amphipods scuttle over fallen organic matter, devouring it in minutes, while lurking eelpouts and deep-water cod wait to ambush the unwary. The lack of light has created a unique ecosystem, where every creature is locked in a constant struggle for survival. Camouflage, bioluminescence, and stealth are the keys to life and death. Parts of these fjords are over 400 meters deep, their unexplored canyons sheltering unknown predators and prey, locked in ancient cycles beneath the shroud of darkness. It is a world apart, hauntingly beautiful and utterly alien, where ancient life thrives in the cold, dark waters, each species a masterpiece of adaptation. In these remote, shadowy depths, extraordinary pockets of life flourish, hidden, resilient, and shaped by the eternal dance of predator and prey in the darkness. In the depths of New Zealand's oceans, remarkable survivors from a distant era glide silently through the water, their forms echoing a time when the world was young. These living fossils have endured for millions of years, their bodies and behaviors largely unchanged, a testament to evolutionary success. Among the most striking of these is the seven-gilled shark, a direct descendant of ancient lineages. Unlike most modern sharks, which possess 5 gill slits, this species retains 7, a feature inherited from ancestors that predate the dinosaurs. The seven-gilled shark is a living link to the prehistoric world, thriving in the cold, shadowy waters of fjordland and beyond. Reaching lengths of up to 3 meters, these sharks are masters of stealth, relying on ambush tactics to capture their prey. Their muted coloration and slow, deliberate movements allow them to blend seamlessly into the kelp forests, using the darkness as cover. In these twilight zones, the seven-gilled shark moves like a shadow, an elusive predator from another age. Its hunting strategy is built on patience and surprise, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. The shark's mottled skin provides exceptional camouflage, allowing it to approach unsuspecting prey undetected. When an opportunity arises, it launches a rapid, powerful attack, targeting seals, dolphins, and fish with remarkable efficiency. Observing this ancient predator in its natural environment offers a rare glimpse into the evolutionary history of marine life. The persistence of such species demonstrates that, in nature, some designs are so effective they remain unchanged for eons. As the oceans transformed over millennia, these sharks endured, their adaptations perfectly suited to their ecological niche. Another extraordinary relic inhabiting these waters is the sawfish, a species that bridges the evolutionary gap between sharks and rays. The sawfish's body combines the cartilaginous skeleton of a shark with the flattened form of a ray, reflecting its ancient origins. This unique anatomy allows it to thrive along the ocean floor, where it searches for food. Its most remarkable adaptation is the elongated saw-like rostrum, edged with sharp, tooth-like scales. Far from being a tool for cutting, the rostrum is a sophisticated hunting instrument. The sawfish uses it to slash through schools of fish, stunning or injuring prey with swift lateral movements. It also excavates the sandy seabed, uncovering hidden crustaceans and other invertebrates. This specialized hunting strategy makes the sawfish a formidable and efficient predator within its ecosystem. Yet, despite their resilience, sawfish populations have declined dramatically, and they are now critically endangered. Their distinctive rostrum, once an evolutionary advantage, now makes them vulnerable to entanglement in fishing gear. Fossil evidence reveals that their ancestors, such as the massive Onchopristis, once dominated these waters alongside dinosaurs. Today, their descendants face unprecedented threats, struggling to survive in a rapidly changing world. The seven-gilled shark and the sawfish are not only survivors, they are vital components of their ecosystems, maintaining balance and supporting biodiversity. Their presence is a living record of the ocean's evolutionary journey, encoded in their very DNA. By safeguarding these ancient species, we preserve not only a link to the distant past, but also the health and resilience of New Zealand's marine ecosystems for generations to come. Today's oceans are home to formidable hunters, but in the distant past, New Zealand's waters teemed with even more extraordinary and fearsome marine life. During the Mesozoic and Cenozoic eras, much of New Zealand was submerged beneath warm, shallow seas, creating a haven for a diverse array of marine reptiles and ancient sharks. Among the most remarkable inhabitants were the plesiosaurs, marine reptiles with broad bodies, 4 powerful flippers, and astonishingly long necks. Plesiosaurs glided through the ancient seas, using their flippers for agile movement as they hunted fish and cephalopods. Some species reached lengths of up to 15 meters, rivaling the size of a modern bus. The reign of these marine reptiles ended abruptly around 66 million years ago, when a massive asteroid impact triggered a mass extinction event. With the extinction of plesiosaurs and other marine reptiles, ecological niches opened for new predators to evolve. The Cenozoic seas saw the rise of giant sharks, the most iconic being Otodus megalodon. Megalodon dwarfed all modern sharks, with estimates suggesting lengths up to 20 meters and weights approaching 100 tons. Its immense jaws, lined with serrated teeth the size of a human hand, could exert one of the most powerful bites in the animal kingdom. Megalodon was the apex predator of its time, preying on large marine mammals including early whales. Its teeth, some over 18 centimeters long, are among the most impressive fossils ever discovered. Fossilized megalodon teeth have been unearthed in New Zealand's sedimentary rocks, evidence of its presence in these ancient waters. For millions of years, Megalodon dominated the marine ecosystem, shaping the evolution of its prey. Yet, around 2 million years ago, this giant vanished from the oceans. The extinction of Megalodon is linked to dramatic changes in ocean temperature, declining prey populations, and increased competition. The emergence of highly intelligent social predators like orcas may have further pressured Megalodon populations. Orcas, with their cooperative hunting strategies and adaptability, thrived as the oceans changed. These new predators could exploit a wider range of prey and environments, outcompeting the giant shark. As the climate cooled and food sources shifted, Megalodon's massive size became a disadvantage, while orcas adapted and flourished. The rise of the killer whale marked a new era in marine predation. The disappearance of Megalodon had profound effects on the marine ecosystem, allowing medium-sized whales to proliferate. These whales, once primary prey for the giant shark, now faced fewer threats and diversified rapidly. Freed from the shadow of Megalodon, some lineages evolved into the largest animals ever to live, the blue whale and the humpback whale. Today, these gentle giants roam the oceans, a living legacy of ancient evolutionary shifts. The vanished plesiosaurs and Megalodon remain as spectral presences in the fossil record, their legacy etched in stone and memory. Each fossil, discovered in New Zealand's ancient rocks, tells a story of adaptation, extinction, and the ever-changing tapestry of life in the sea. On a dark night in November 2016, the ground in Kaikōura began to shake violently. A massive 7.8 magnitude earthquake ripped through the region, not as a single tremor but as a complex series of ruptures that unleashed incredible power. The event triggered around 100,000 landslides, scarring the mountains and sending debris tumbling toward the sea. But the most profound transformation occurred along the coast itself. The immense force of the earthquake lifted the seabed out of the water, pushing entire sections of the coastline upwards by as much as 2 meters in a matter of seconds. The Kaikōura Peninsula itself was shifted up by 80 centimeters, forever altering the shape of the shoreline. The world beneath the waves was suddenly exposed to the air. The intertidal zone, once teeming with life, was left high and dry, its rich communities of marine organisms stranded far from the water's reach. Countless creatures, paua, sea urchins, starfish, and many more were left behind, unable to survive the sudden exposure. The devastation was immediate and widespread, a stark demonstration of nature's raw power. The loss of these intertidal communities sent shock waves through the entire coastal ecosystem. Marine predators, such as octopus and predatory fish, suddenly found their hunting grounds transformed or destroyed. With prey populations decimated and habitats altered, these predators faced a sudden scarcity of food. Some moved to deeper waters, while others struggled to adapt to the new environment. The coastline itself was permanently transformed, with jagged rocks and new landforms emerging where once there had been gentle slopes and tidal pools. Beneath the surface, the underwater world was thrown into chaos. Landslides sent clouds of sediment pouring into the Kaikōura Canyon, smothering parts of the seabed and burying marine creatures. The water became murky, disrupting the delicate balance of the ecosystem. For marine predators like crayfish and large fish, hunting became more difficult as visibility dropped and prey disappeared. Many predators were forced to migrate or adapt to new hunting grounds, while others faced starvation. The destruction of shellbeds and the burial of food sources left the ecosystem in turmoil, yet even in the aftermath, signs of rebirth began to emerge. Hardy species started to recolonize the altered shoreline, and new habitats formed in the cracks and crevices of the uplifted rocks. Over time, marine predators returned, drawn by the gradual recovery of prey populations and the creation of new ecological niches. The Kaikōura earthquake became a catalyst for renewal, demonstrating the resilience of both habitats and the predators that depend on them. The story of Kaikōura's rebirth is a testament to the dynamic power of nature, where destruction paves the way for new life, and even the most formidable predators must adapt to survive in a world forever changed. In the wake of the catastrophic Kaikōura earthquake, the coastline was transformed into a landscape of upheaval and uncertainty. Beneath the waves, chaos reigned, reefs were shattered, sediment clouds billowed, and the very foundation of the marine world was shaken. Yet, amidst this turmoil, the true resilience of New Zealand's marine predators began to emerge. The New Zealand fur seals, whose breeding grounds were buried beneath landslides and boulders, faced immediate peril. Many lost their traditional haul-outs, but these adaptable predators responded with remarkable ingenuity. They navigated the altered terrain, seeking out new ledges and crevices along the uplifted coast, where they could safely rest and nurture their young. Pups learned to traverse the jagged rocks, and the colony gradually re-established itself, demonstrating an extraordinary capacity for survival in a changed world. Offshore, the mighty sperm whales, giants of the deep, were confronted by a sudden onslaught of seismic noise and shifting sea floor. Sensitive to the faintest vibrations, these whales experienced a world transformed by thunderous underwater quakes. Despite the deafening disturbance, they did not abandon their ancestral feeding grounds in the Kaikōura Canyon. Tracking data revealed that the resident sperm whales remained loyal to the canyon, undeterred by the upheaval. The deep, nutrient-rich waters continued to provide abundant prey, and the whales adapted their foraging strategies to cope with the altered seafloor and increased turbidity. Their persistence is a testament to their evolutionary mastery of this volatile environment. Both fur seals and sperm whales continued their daily rituals, hunting, raising young, and navigating the ever-changing seascape. Over time, the coastline began a slow recovery. Bare rocks, once stripped of life, became the foundation for new beginnings. Seaweeds anchored themselves to the uplifted stone, and the first barnacles and snails returned, followed by crabs and other small creatures. Each new arrival marked a step in the slow, intricate process of ecological renewal. The marine predators, ever watchful, adapted their hunting grounds and techniques to the shifting abundance of prey. The earthquake, while devastating, set in motion a cycle of destruction and rebirth that has shaped New Zealand's coasts for millennia. The predators that call these waters home are not merely survivors. They are architects of adaptation, thriving in a world defined by upheaval. As the land continues to shift and the seas remain restless, these marine predators face ongoing challenges: rising ocean temperatures, shifting prey populations, and the ever-present threat of future quakes. Yet their story is one of hope and endurance. The fur seals, sperm whales, and other apex hunters of New Zealand's wild coastlines embody the relentless spirit of life itself. In this ever-evolving seascape, the resilient survivors continue to adapt, ensuring that the wild heart of New Zealand's ocean beats on, untamed, enduring, and full of life's promise. Beneath the rolling waves of New Zealand's coast, where sunlight fades into darkness, an ancient spectacle unfolds, a hidden world aglow with living light. Here, in the cold, inky depths of the Kaikōura Canyon and beyond, bioluminescence becomes a vital tool for survival and predation. This is the realm of the glowing hunters. Among the most dazzling residents are the lanternfish, tiny yet abundant, cloaked in rows of luminous organs along their flanks. Each night, billions ascend from the blackness, their bodies pulsing with blue-green light. These flickering signals serve as a secret code, camouflage against the faint glow of the surface above, confusing both predator and prey in the perpetual twilight. But the lanternfish are not alone. The elusive cookie-cutter shark prowls these depths, its belly aglow with a soft, eerie radiance. This bioluminescent lure tricks larger predators into mistaking the shark for a harmless sliver of moonlight. When a curious hunter draws near, the cookie-cutter strikes with surgical precision, leaving a telltale crater in its victim's flesh before vanishing back into the darkness. Further below, the sinister dragonfish wields its own arsenal of light. Long, needle-like teeth glint in the faint flashes from a barbell dangling beneath its chin, an organic lantern used to attract unsuspecting prey. With a sudden snap, the dragonfish engulfs its quarry, a single burst of light marking the end of the hunt. For New Zealand's deep-diving sperm whales, bioluminescence is not merely a curiosity, but a beacon in the abyss. As these giants plunge to depth beyond a kilometre, their world is illuminated by the brief, ghostly glows of squid and jellyfish. Each pulse of light betrays the movement of prey, guiding the whale's echolocation clicks with visual cues in an environment where sight is fleeting. Even the humble ostracods, tiny crustaceans no larger than a grain of rice, play their part, releasing clouds of sparkling blue when threatened. These dazzling displays startle would-be predators, buying precious seconds for escape. In this shadowy world, bioluminescence is more than a spectacle. It is woven into the very fabric of life. It confuses, deceives, attracts and warns, a language spoken only in flashes and glows. For the marine predators of New Zealand, mastering this language means the difference between hunger and survival. As the camera drifts through the midnight zone, the ocean is revealed not as a void, but as a living tapestry of light and shadow, each flicker a testament to the extraordinary adaptations that define these wild waters. Here in the silent glow of the abyss, The hunt never truly ends. In the vast expanse of New Zealand's underwater world, survival is rarely a solitary endeavour. Here, beneath the surface, intricate alliances have evolved, symbiotic relationships that bind marine predators and their neighbours in unexpected ways. These are partnerships forged by necessity, honed by evolution, and hidden beneath the restless waves. Along the rocky reefs, the cunning moray eel weaves through crevices, its slender body nearly invisible among the shadows. Nearby, a bold, cleaner wrasser flits between scales and gills, fearlessly approaching the predator's open jaws. Rather than a threat, the eel becomes a client. The wrasser, a meticulous attendant, picks away parasites and dead skin. This delicate exchange offers the wrasse a steady meal and the eel a reprieve from unseen irritants, a silent pact in a world ruled by instinct. Further offshore, the mighty bronze whaler shark patrols the kelp forests. Trailing in its wake, schools of pilotfish dart and swirl, their striped bodies perfectly adapted to the shark's movements. These agile companions feast on scraps from the shark's kills and nibble away parasites, while the shark's formidable presence wards off would-be predators. For both hunter and helper, this alliance is a matter of life and sustenance. On the open sea floor, the nocturnal octopus is a master of disguise. Yet, it is not always alone. At times it teams up with the humble grouper, embarking on joint hunting expeditions. The grouper's bursts of speed flush prey from hiding, while the octopus's dexterous arms probe into tight spaces. Together, they outwit their quarry, sharing in the spoils of their cooperation. Even the formidable orca, apex predator of these southern waters, is not above forming alliances. When hunting rays and sharks along the coast, orcas have been observed working in tight-knit pods, using coordinated tactics to herd and disable their prey. In these moments, family bonds and learned strategies become the ultimate tools for survival. These symbiotic relationships, woven through the fabric of New Zealand's ocean, are a testament to the power of collaboration in the wild. Here, alliances are not mere chance. They are a vital strategy in the eternal dance of predator and prey. In the ever-shifting current, survival belongs to those who master not only the hunt, but the art of partnership. Beneath the surface of New Zealand's seas, an invisible force orchestrates the rhythm of life, the ocean's currents and tides. These powerful movements not only sculpt the sea floor and nourish kelp forests, but they also dictate where and how marine predators thrive. Every day, tides surge and retreat along the coastline, flooding estuaries and revealing rocky flats. For coastal hunters like stingrays and reef-dwelling snapper, these tidal shifts are essential. As the water rises, new feeding grounds open up, crabs and small fish are swept from hiding, and predators move in, timing their hunts with precision. When the tide ebbs, these same hunters retreat to deeper pools, awaiting the next cycle. Further offshore, the story becomes even more complex. Here, vast oceanic currents, like the warm East Auckland Current and the cold Southland Current, collide and intertwine. These underwater rivers transport nutrients and microscopic life, creating rich feeding zones known as upwellings. It is in these places that plankton blooms ignite a chain reaction, drawing in schools of baitfish, which in turn attract swift kahawai, bronze whaler sharks, and even the mighty bluefin tuna. For apex predators, these currents are highways and hunting grounds. Migratory species like the mako shark and orca track the shifting edges of temperature and salinity, following prey as they ride the moving waters. Some, like the giant squid, use the cover of strong currents to launch ambushes, drifting silently until an unsuspecting meal is swept within reach. Even in the mysterious depths of the Kaikōura Canyon, powerful internal tides stir the darkness, lifting nutrients from the sea floor and fueling a unique ecosystem of deep-sea hunters. Here, ghostly six-gill sharks and colossal squid rise and fall with the moving water, each pulse of the tide bringing a new opportunity or a new threat. In New Zealand's marine world, currents and tides are more than mere background. They are the architects of opportunity and survival. They shape the distribution of predators and prey, set the tempo of every hunt, and remind us that even the fiercest ocean hunter is ultimately at the mercy of the sea's unending motion. Beneath the ever-shifting blue, survival favours those who can remain unseen. In New Zealand's marine wilderness, camouflage and stealth are as vital as tooth and claw, ancient adaptations honed over millions of years. Along rocky reefs, the New Zealand scorpionfish becomes nearly invisible. Its mottled skin, splashed with browns, reds, and creams, mirrors the surrounding kelp and encrusted stones. Motionless, it waits in perfect silence, the subtle ripple of its gills the only hint of life. Unsuspecting prey, small fish or crustaceans, pass within reach, never noticing the lurking danger until it's too late. Elsewhere, the octopus reigns as a true master of disguise. With a thought, its skin shifts color and texture, mimicking swirling sand, tangled seaweed, or jagged rock. Chromatophores, tiny pigment cells, expand and contract, painting it into the seascape. An octopus vanishes before the eyes, gliding across the seafloor as nothing more than a shadow, its passage betrayed only by a faint cloud of disturbed silt. Among the kelp forests, kelpfish and pipefish employ a subtler art. Their elongated bodies and muted hues blend seamlessly with swaying fronds. They drift with the current, moving in tandem with the plants, their outlines broken and ephemeral. To a passing predator, they are nothing more than another strand of weed. In the open ocean, stealth becomes a game of light and shadow. The blue shark's slender body is cloaked in a gradient of color, deep indigo above, pale silver below. From above, it melts into the darkness of the depths. From below, it vanishes against the sunlit surface. This counter-shading confuses both prey and rival, turning the hunter into a ghost. Even in the abyss, camouflage reigns supreme. The deep-sea dragonfish wields bioluminescent lures, drawing prey close while its mirrored scales reflect the faintest glimmers, rendering it nearly invisible in the gloom. It drifts in silence, a flicker of light and a mouthful of teeth, poised for the perfect ambush. From the tidal flats to the midnight zones, New Zealand's marine predators are artists of concealment. Their stealth is not mere trickery. It is the difference between life and death, a silent contest waged in the ever-changing theatre of the sea. Every year, the waters surrounding New Zealand become highways for some of the ocean's most formidable hunters. These seasonal migrations, driven by ancient instincts and shifting environmental cues, transform the region into a dynamic crossroads of marine life. From the icy southern currents, dusky dolphins and orcapods surge northward as winter wanes. Their route traces the rugged coastline, following dense schools of baitfish that bloom in the warming waters. Along the way, they navigate perilous stretches, narrow straits, turbulent upwellings, and the looming shadows of larger predators. For the orca, the journey is marked by strategic stops. In the sheltered bays of the North Island, they hunt rays and small sharks, using coordinated tactics perfected over generations. Far offshore, great white sharks embark on a remarkable odyssey. Tagged individuals reveal a recurring pattern. Each spring, they leave the subantarctic islands, slicing north through deep pelagic corridors toward the subtropical Kermadec Trench. This route, spanning over 1,000 kilometers, exposes them to fluctuating temperatures and the constant search for prey. The shark's arrival coincides with the migration of fur seals, whose breeding colonies provide a seasonal feast. Meanwhile, the giant squid of the Kaikōura Canyon undertake vertical migrations, rising from the inky depths at night to hunt in shallower waters. This nightly ascent brings them within striking distance of sperm whales, whose own seasonal movements are tuned to the ebb and flow of their elusive prey. The ecological impacts of these migrations are profound. As predators converge and disperse, They shape the abundance and behavior of prey species, redistributing nutrients and energy across vast distances. The synchronized arrival of hunters triggers cascading effects. Schools of fish fragment, seabird colonies erupt in feeding frenzies, and the entire marine web pulses with renewed vitality. Here, in the ever-changing currents around New Zealand, migration is more than a journey. It is a perpetual cycle of pursuit and survival, an invisible choreography that sustains the wild heart of the ocean. Beneath the restless surface, the world of New Zealand's ocean hunters is not only a realm of sight and movement, but of sound, a language spoken in clicks, pulses, and low-frequency rumbles. In these shadowy depths, where sunlight fades to darkness, the ability to hear and interpret sound becomes a lifeline, shaping every pursuit and every close encounter. For the dusky dolphins sweeping through the coastal shallows, echolocation is both a map and a weapon. With rapid-fire clicks, they send bursts of sound that ricochet through the water, painting a three-dimensional picture of their surroundings. Each returning echo reveals the shape, distance, and even the speed of darting fish hidden in swirling sand clouds. In the tight ballet of a feeding frenzy, these dolphins coordinate with uncanny precision, weaving through shoals and corralling prey as if guided by invisible threads. Far offshore, the mighty sperm whale descends into the Kaikōura Canyon, entering a world of perpetual night. Here, sight is useless, but sound reigns supreme. The whale's colossal head acts as a biological sonar, emitting powerful clicks that travel for kilometers. These sound waves penetrate the blackness, locating giant squid far below. Each echo tells the whale where to aim its next dive, transforming the hunt into an intricate game of hide-and-seek played on a stage of total darkness. Even the stealthy orca, New Zealand's apex predator, relies on an intricate auditory toolkit. In family pods, they whisper with high-pitched whistles and coordinate with low grunts, each sound tailored to the task at hand. Herding rays in shallow estuaries or stalking seals along rocky headlands. When silence is needed, they mute their calls, slipping through the water undetected, their presence betrayed only by the faintest ripple. For all these hunters, the ocean is alive with information, vibrations from distant storms, the panicked flutter of fleeing fish, the rhythmic songs of distant whales. In this liquid labyrinth, hearing is believing, and sound is survival. Here, in the blue wilderness surrounding New Zealand, every hunt is a symphony of senses. The predators who master its rhythms claim the right to rule these waters, guided not by sight, but by the ancient voices echoing through the deep. Yet even the most formidable hunters of New Zealand's oceans face adversaries that cannot be outswum or outmaneuvered. Unseen and relentless, the threats to their world grow with every passing tide. Beneath the waves, rising ocean temperatures disrupt ancient migration routes and breeding grounds. As currents shift and warm, prey species vanish from once familiar waters, forcing dolphins, whales, and sharks to travel farther and dive deeper in search of food. Some predators, finely tuned to the chill of southern seas, find themselves in an environment changing faster than evolution can adapt. Pollution casts a long shadow across these blue frontiers. Microplastics swirl in the currents, infiltrating the food chain from plankton to the apex hunters. Toxins accumulate in muscle and blubber, weakening immune systems and threatening the next generation before it is even born. Ghost nets drift silently, entangling unsuspecting creatures in their invisible traps, while oil spills stain the surface, robbing the water of life-giving oxygen. Invasive species, carried by ships from distant ports, upset the delicate balance. Aggressive crabs and jellyfish crowd out native prey. New diseases, once unknown, hitch rides on foreign hulls and spread through vulnerable populations. Each arrival brings new competition, new risks, and new uncertainty. Even the deep, once thought untouchable, is not immune. deep-sea mining and seismic surveys disturb the darkness, sending shockwaves through the canyons where giants hunt and rare creatures thrive. The echoes of these disruptions ripple across the ecosystem, their consequences still unfolding. For New Zealand's ocean hunters, survival is no longer just a test of tooth and speed. It is a race against a world transformed, a world where the greatest dangers are silent, pervasive, and ever-present. In these changing seas, adaptation is not an option, but a necessity. The fate of these remarkable predators hangs in a delicate balance, shaped as much by the unseen hand of human influence as by the timeless rhythms of the ocean itself. Beneath the ever-shifting surface of New Zealand's seas lie sanctuaries, hidden realms where nature's resilience is given space to flourish. Within the boundaries of marine reserves, the ocean's predators find refuge in a tapestry of habitats as diverse as the creatures that prowl them. Here the relentless pressures of the outside world fade, replaced by the patient rhythms of recovery and renewal. In the embrace of the poor Knight's Islands, volcanic arches and submerged caves form a labyrinthine refuge. Sunbeams pierce the crystalline water, illuminating forests of swaying kelp. Here, bronze whaler sharks slip silently between the shadows, and schools of snapper swirl in dazzling unison, their numbers bolstered by years of undisturbed growth. Every crevice and overhang teems with life, from the cryptic scorpionfish to the curious octopus, each playing their part in a thriving food web. Further south, the fjordland marine reserves cradle a world of contrasts. Sheer rock walls plunge into inky depths, their surfaces adorned with delicate black coral trees, some centuries old. Dusky dolphins dart through the tannin-stained water, while fur seals hunt in the twilight below. In these sheltered fjords, rare species find safe harbor, and the intricate balance between predator and prey is preserved, undisturbed by fishing lines or dredging nets. Off the wild coast of the Kermadec Islands, submerged volcanoes rise from the abyss, creating oases in the open sea. Here, schools of trevally shimmer over vibrant coral gardens, and oceanic white-tip sharks patrol the drop-offs where warm and cool currents collide. The isolation of these reserves allows ancient migration routes to endure, offering sanctuary for wide-ranging hunters such as swordfish and tuna as they traverse the Pacific's blue expanse. Each reserve is a living experiment, a testament to what the ocean can become when given the chance. Within these protected boundaries, predators reclaim their roles as stewards of balance. Prey populations rebound, habitats heal, and the intricate choreography of life resumes its timeless dance. These unique habitats are more than just refuges, they are blueprints for hope. They reveal the ocean's extraordinary capacity for recovery and highlight the vital importance of protection in a world where threats loom large. For New Zealand's ocean hunters, marine reserves are sanctuaries not only for survival, but for the promise of renewal, a glimpse into a future where the wild heart of the ocean beats strong once more. Beneath the rolling waves, a pulse of energy ripples through the water, an unspoken signal that the hunt is on. In the wild expanses surrounding New Zealand, the ocean's predators are not solitary wanderers, but orchestrators of chaos, masters of the collective hunt. A dark cloud forms in the blue, a swirling mass of baitfish, tightly packed in a desperate attempt to evade the jaws that circle them. From the depths, a squadron of common dolphins rises, their movements perfectly synchronized. With an almost telepathic unity, they herd the bait ball toward the surface, corralling it with astonishing precision. Above, Australasian gannets wheel in anticipation, their sharp eyes locked on the shimmering prize below. Suddenly, the sea erupts into a maelstrom. Dolphins slice through the bait ball, scattering silvery bodies in every direction. At that same instant, gannets spear downwards, folding their wings and plunging through the surf like living arrows. In this moment, the boundaries between air and water blur, predators from two realms converging in a shared frenzy. Further offshore, bronze whaler sharks join the melee, drawn by the scent of opportunity. They weave through the chaos, their presence adding another layer to the intricate tapestry of the hunt. Even the mighty orca, New Zealand's apex predator, employs teamwork, coordinating in tightly knit pods to outmaneuver elusive prey like stingrays or even the swift dusky dolphins themselves. In the shadowy canyons, groupers and snapper take advantage of the confusion, darting in to snatch stray fish disoriented by the dolphins' assault. Each participant, from the smallest predator to the largest, plays a role in this complex ballet of survival. These feeding frenzies are more than mere spectacles. They are living proof of the power of cooperation and strategy in the marine world. In the wild heart of New Zealand's oceans, group hunting is not just a tactic, but an ancient tradition, passed down through generations. Here, the collective triumphs and the ocean's hunters remind us that in the dance of life and death, unity often tips the balance. As the tides of time move forward, the mysteries of New Zealand's marine predators are far from fully unraveled. Today, a new era of exploration is dawning, one powered by innovation, precision, and unprecedented access to the hidden lives beneath the waves. Across the nation's research hubs and remote coastal outposts, scientists are deploying cutting-edge technologies to pierce the ocean's depths. Autonomous underwater vehicles glide silently through the canyons, mapping habitats and recording the movements of elusive hunters with high-definition sonar. Satellite tagging, once a marvel, is now refined to track the epic journeys of sharks, orca, and tuna in real time, revealing migratory highways that stretch across the South Pacific. DNA analysis, extracted from nothing more than a swath of seawater, is unlocking a genetic fingerprint of every species that passes through, shedding light on population health, feeding patterns, and even the hidden presence of rare or cryptic predators. Advanced bioacoustic sensors eavesdrop on the silent language of the deep, capturing the clicks, songs, and hunting calls of whales, dolphins, and more, providing insights into their social structures and foraging strategies. But discovery is only the first step. Every new revelation fuels the drive for protection. Marine reserves are expanding, guided by data that pinpoints breeding grounds and critical habitats. Artificial intelligence sifts through thousands of hours of footage, identifying predators and their prey, and flagging signs of ecosystem stress. In these waters, the future of conservation is adaptive, responsive to the shifting tides of climate change, pollution, and human encroachment. Collaborative networks unite researchers, indigenous guardians, and policymakers, forging dynamic strategies to safeguard the balance of life in the ocean. The journey ahead is vast, but each technological leap brings us closer to understanding and preserving the intricate web of New Zealand's marine hunters. In this age of discovery, the ocean's greatest secrets are no longer out of reach. They are waiting just below the surface, ready to shape the next chapter in the story of the wild living sea.